Paul was everything a teacher could want. Sharp, curious, ambitious. He didn't just dream of success. He saw it. The courtroom, the arguments, the applause. Everyone believed he was destined to become a brilliant lawyer. Everyone, including himself. But brilliance is fragile when discipline is weak. Somewhere between late-night scrolling, half-finished plans, and endless distractions, Paul's focus started to fracture. He studied hard, but scattered. He chased motivation, but lost momentum. When the final exam arrived, his hands trembled. The questions looked familiar, yet his mind slipped, thought by thought, like water through open fingers. When results came, his name wasn't at the top. It wasn't there at all. He didn't fail because he lacked intelligence. He fell because his own mind refused to obey. That is the quiet epidemic of our age. A mind untrained becomes its own enemy. Power means nothing until it is directed. So, master your mind before it masters you. Stay until the end, and you'll see why intelligence means nothing without self-mastery, and how you can actually build it. Chapter 1. Shame and the Search. For weeks, Paul disappeared. No calls, no texts, just silence. He wasn't hiding from his parents or his friends. He was hiding from himself. Failure had stripped him bare, every ounce of pride replaced by one haunting thought. If I'm so smart, why can't I stay focused? One calm morning, as Paul wandered through the park, a lone figure sat waiting beneath a chestnut tree's amber shade. He wore simple robes, face calm, like still water. Paul told him everything: the pressure, the excuses, the quiet shame. The man listened without judgment, then said softly, "Your mind is like a young horse, strong, wild, beautiful. But until you train it, it will throw you off every time you try to ride toward your goals." That was Wu. And in that moment, shame turned into curiosity. Paul had found his first sensei. Chapter 2. The Path of Stillness. The next dawn, Paul returned to the park. Wu was already there, unmoving, like stone in the wind. "You wish to regain control?" the old man asked. Paul nodded, desperate yet determined. Wu smiled faintly. "Then we begin. Not with books, with yourself. No long lectures, no screens, no rewards. Only 4 rules. Follow these," said Wu, "and you'll command your mind." And so, Paul's true apprenticeship began, not in law, but in the quiet discipline of endurance. Chapter 3. The 4 Rules. Rule 1. Control your thoughts before they control you. Paul tried to block out negative thinking. Wu stopped him. "You cannot silence waves," he said. "You watch them. Choose which to ride and let the rest die quietly." Awareness, not silence, but selection. That was the first lesson. Rule 2. Build a routine. Every morning began at dawn. Study, train, reflect, rest. Days began to align, still, disciplined, deliberate, like a river finding its course. Rule 3. Remove distractions completely. Wu called them mental thieves. Each one small, but together they steal your focus and your future. Paul deleted apps, cleared his workspace, erased what didn't serve his path. With each cut, his clarity grew sharper. Rule 4. Practice daily, without exception. No days off, no negotiations. "Discipline," said Wu, "is not intensity, it is identity." Paul began to feel something new: momentum. He learned that endurance wasn't about pushing hard once. It was about returning, again and again. When every cell screamed to stop, every sunrise became proof that he could outlast his weakness, not by force but by discipline. Chapter 4. Breaking and Rebuilding. No battle with the mind is ever won easily. Some mornings, the noise returned, the scroll, the doubt, the comfort of doing nothing. Sensei, Paul confessed, I failed again. Wu smiled. When the horse resists the rider, it is not failure. It is training. Endurance begins not when it's easy, but when you want to quit. So Paul refined everything. He removed tiny decisions: what to wear, when to study, how to start. Each choice automated, leaving room only for flow. Weeks passed. His friends called it scary consistency. But Paul knew. This was what freedom felt like: not comfort, not ease, freedom through mastery. But mastery demanded more than precision. It demanded endurance without applause. And that endurance would soon be tested. Chapter 5. The Winter of Endurance. Winter came harsh and silent. Morning frost covered the park bench where Wu once sat. Yet Paul kept training. Days blurred together. Some friends stopped calling. They said he was obsessed. But Paul had learned that obsession is simply what discipline feels like to those who've never tasted it. One evening, exhausted, he asked Wu, "Sensei, how do I know I'm improving if nothing feels different?" Wu replied, "When bamboo grows, nothing appears above ground for years, but its roots are spreading quietly in the dark. Endure the unseen work. Growth hides before it blooms." That night, Paul felt something shift, not triumph, but trust. He no longer needed proof. He had found patience, and from that moment, discipline turned from effort into nature, and that invisible change became the seed of his return. Chapter 6. The Return. 90 days later, Paul entered the same examination hall. He recognized the smell of paper, the faint hum of fear in the air. But this time, his hands were steady, his breath deliberate. He felt different, empty of fear and full of focus. The exam began. And for the first time, Paul felt silence inside. No noise, no panic, only presence. When the results arrived, his name stood at the top. But the true victory wasn't written in ink. It was written in his new self. Wu said softly, "You no longer chase focus, Paul. You have become it." And in that silence, Paul finally understood. Mastery is not dominion over life, but dominion over self. Talent fades, motivation burns out, but endurance, that stays. Discipline, that defines you. So ask yourself, are you the rider or the wild horse? Begin your own 90 days of focus and frighten yourself with what you can become.